Other guys, I finally got an opportunity to come and, thankfully do this video. It's been on my heart and mind for a few days. I know Spirit wants me to give the message specifically. This wasn't even a video. A lot of times I tell y'all I have so many videos that I want to do and stuff been on my mind for a long time. This had not been on my mind. Um, but it's because of things that have been happening. But things that, I've been seeing, things even that I've seen at work that made me realize the necessity of this video. Um, but like I say, the main thing is Spirit wants me to give this message. So that's what I'm going to do. So this video right now is going to be talking about explaining. Um, Hopefully, I don't have to go to the internet or anything like that, but I might. But it literally is it's a video for women and men, but mostly women to understand the signs of aggression, anger, rage, and de um, how to de-escalate from that, and how to recognize it, because that's like one of the main things that I'm seeing is that people don't know how to like anticipate or see anger for what it is, how it can escalate, um, and just all of that. And I see it, and that's kind of the viewpoint that I wanted to come from as I talk about, a couple of incidences at work. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and open with that so the video is not crazy long. But um, so I work for years. I've worked with the elderly, disabled, things like that. And of course, in that field, that comes along with a lot of different types of mental um, diseases. Um, there are so many mental diseases that are just like here. Like there's so many. I don't even know if psychiatrists and things like that have even pinpointed all of the personality types and things that there really are. Like, who knows? But at the end of the day, you have that to deal with. You have that to contend with. You have working in my field, a lot of times you'll just think that the person's old or they got Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever, which those are actually two different things, but this video is not about that. Or just when they're old, they're just senile or just whatever. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes these, though, are long-standing mental illnesses that these people have just gotten old with. And there is a difference. I've been in this field over, man, I'm gonna get my age, over 25 years, maybe a little more. But at the end of the day, I have a lot of experience, and then I have a lot of experience with being able to recognize, I'm able to recognize the difference a lot of times in something that's like a mental illness, or if it is some type of, dementia, senility, whatever. And sometimes, and this is a hard one for a lot of people, especially women. Well, you know what? Women and men. Um, Sometimes people are just mean as shit. Like literally, sometimes people are just mean and evil and just don't care. Period. Like that is a real thing. And a lot of times I can see and I can tell the difference between what's going on. Um so let me get to my job. So there is this woman, um a patient, I'll say. I hate that word patient, but a patient. And I'm using that word to differentiate between her and my coworker. So, and this is actually more than one coworker that I have literally seen this happening to. So, the particular lady, patient, um, this woman has long-standing like mental illness. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so went to she had a she broke her hip. Um, and so therefore we had to then of course start giving more care. She's literally laying on her back, really can't do too much. Now before that she could walk and all of this. So she already had her issues already. And so when she came back, you know, she came back on a day that I wasn't at work. I only work a few days a week. And so they were just like, you know, during our like debriefing or whatever you want to call it, um, they were talking about how she was hitting, biting, spitting on people, um, pinching, all of that to people. Um, and so I went into the room with her. My first thing with her, I didn't have no problem. Like she was fine with me. Like I didn't have a problem. Let me throw in there also something new that spirit has told me that I possess. I told a practitioner about it. They like completely understood, broke it down, what no whatever confusion. They had never heard of it. I had never heard of it, but it wasn't any um they had heard of it and knew exactly what it was, even more so than me. They told me more so of what it was. And what that is Spirit recently told me that one of my other gifts that I possess, I've always had it, just didn't know it was a name for it, um, is a spirit of comfort. And basically, at the end of the day, that is just, I have and have always had the ability to calm down situations. I've been able to calm down people. I carry a peace and a serenity and a calmness in me that radiates out. And I've had numerous people tell me about my patients. I've had numerous people tell me that, oh, it's just so peaceful and calm down here in your area, whatever. Like, you know, it's just so like, you know, I come over here to get a little peace or whatever, you know. So it's a calming presence. It is a comforting presence that's just in me. And I have always been able to give that out to people. That's one of my gifts. It's one of the reasons that I am here. It's one of the reasons that I am even in healthcare, is to help others feel comfort and patience and love and all those things, but comfort in particular, because once a person is comfortable, once a person feels comfort and comfortable, um, man, a lot of things changes. You know what I'm saying? Because chaos is one of those things where you can't flow, you can't think, you can't you can't hear right. I mean, just like, and this whole world is built on chaos. Like it's so easy to go almost anywhere and be in chaos. Anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Um, but a person with a gift of comfort, and I'm so thankful and delighted to know and realize and understand that gift that I carry and to give it to others. So, um, I threw that in because, like I say, um, I did not have any um problems with this lady, except for one time when I was with one of the other people who she doesn't like. And she was really giving him a hard time. I mean, like, she was hitting, she literally just turned over, saw her, and pinched her. I mean, literally twist her skin. And I was almost, it's kind of crazy, but it's like I was almost feeling bad because I'm just like, every time I come in here, this woman does not try to hit. She don't even try to hit me. She don't even try to pinch me, scratch me, whatever. I did get called a bitch, but you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the violence, though. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was a bitch in the room. You know what I'm saying? So that was okay. Um, but yeah, she of course has since kind of calmed down a little bit. She's in a bit of a transition, but the video is not about that. Um, so the story that I wanted to tell is that that particular uh co-worker, very very violent with, and she's not the only one. There's been other people who are really violent toward that particular person. I have another coworker who, me and her are just so cool. I really like her. She likes me. We've worked together for a long time. Forgive me, guys. I don't know. As soon as I get on here, then something gets in my eye. But anyway, um, but she gets hit a lot, like for real. I think even though she's a sweet person, I really seriously think it's her approach. She's very loud. She's a little old short, lady. Not gonna give any details at all, but little short lady, but she has a loud voice. Like her whole presence is loud. And I think it bothers people's spirits. And so people come at her a little aggressively because I think they probably feel like in their state of whatever they're in, she's coming at them. Uh, she's coming at them aggressively, and so you got people gonna strike back. You know what I'm saying? So um, anyway, we were with that particular lady, and my coworker, she kept like getting like close to the lady, and the lady like punched her twice in the face. She was literally, her nose was bleeding when we got out of that room. And she scratched her, and she was just being violent toward her. But she kept getting herself close to the lady, to like tell her, oh, don't do that, or we're just trying to help you, whatever. But she's getting close to the lady's face, and she started getting punched. And I finally told her, I'm like, you probably need to stop getting in her face. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, she came out of the room bloody. You know what I'm saying? And it was bad. But that segues me into talking about how I just don't see enough people and women in general that are able to like recognize accelerating anger, or be able to recognize anger, period, or they feel like they can talk or reason the person into, or just make the person, if the person understands my point or whatever, then they'll calm down. No, they won't. No, they won't. No, they won't. I'm telling you, I've been in this field close to 30 years, if not 30 or more. It's all I've done all my life, and I started very, very young, as a teen, as a matter of fact. I get out of my teens, but teen, and I've seen it. I've seen it, um, and not only do I have like that experiential part of it, um, I just have that ability to like of like foresight to see, um, what could possibly come from this situation. See a lady stop talking, um, because it is really okay. Now it's good. It was really going really, really slow and freezing up. So hopefully it won't affect this video. Um, but I see that, and um I make this video, like I say, for women, but for everybody. But I'm just tired of seeing women getting unalived, getting beat like men, getting into altercations with men, thinking that they can reason with them. Well, let me tell you one of the first things about it. Um, men operate out of their ego for the most part. All humans do, but men operate from a standpoint of ego and a lot of vanity. A lot of vanity. So there's a lot of things that really get a man at the source of his ego, especially when it's coming from a woman. Many men, not all, many men, though, feel like they are smarter than women. Many men feel like they don't, at the core of it, and like deep down, they don't want a woman telling them anything to do. Um, it's, I mean, call it what you will, misogyny, patriarchy, like it really, it's all of that. But at the end of the day, we need to understand that that's a lot of the core thing. They don't want you telling, and a lot of men don't even listen to women. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a real thing. They say they do, some do more than others, the whole thing. But because of men's ego and vanity, most of them still continue to carry that I'm the man type, whatever. I'm the leader, I'm the head, I'm the whatever. Even if they don't have a family, like the fact that you're a woman, they feel that way over you. So, um, this is why, though, it is very, very hard for a woman that is in an altercation with a male to be able to rationalize with him, reason with him, and de escalate from him. Because at the end of the day, like at the core of it, he just wants you to shut the hell up. At the core of it, he just wants you to shut the hell up. Whether he wrong, whether he right, what, like, yeah. And I think a lot of women don't even see the the escalation of it. Like they just don't, because they're so caught up in their argument until it just becomes a battle. It just becomes a battle. And she has the attitude, I'm a grown woman, I'm not no kid, you're not my daddy, whatever, and you're not going to tell me what to do. Now, I'm not even saying that's right or wrong. It's probably not good in that situation. But believe me, I get it. I feel you. I am an adult too. Um, and I actually feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you need to be able to understand the person that you're with or arguing with or whatever, how they express themselves in their anger. That's so important. If you're arguing with your boyfriend or husband, and if they have gotten to the point of being your boyfriend and husband, then that means that you've been with them long enough to kind of know a few things about them, I would hope. So when you're getting into that situation of arguing or misunderstanding, miscommunication, misspeaking, like whatever it is, once you get into that, once you even get into it, I'm not even talking about throwing stuff and slamming doors and knocking TVs off the wall. I'm not even talking about there yet. I'm just talking about when the disagreement even begins. You need to know that, oh, when I start seeing that little thing right there back here with him, I don't know what that is with men, but I've seen it on many men. I have observed it is something back here. And when that start moving, it's on both sides. And when that start moving and stuff like that, oh, he mad. He's mad. He's uncomfortable, and or either you're making him mad. I watch that so much on men, whatever this is. And so you need to be able to recognize the signs of whoever it is you're arguing with, unless it's a stranger, of course you don't know, but there's still just signs in human beings of them being anxious. Maybe they're frowned up, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe they just, all frowned up. Maybe their face is red and getting flushed. You know what I'm saying? Some people show anger through their eyes. You know what I'm saying? Look at their eyes to see, you can see. You also need to listen. You also need to listen to them. Now, although I completely agree with, I'm going to bring up the Kalisha Hood and her son and Jeremy Brown confrontation. Now, although I completely believe that, I don't blame her son. I don't think she was doing anything to escalate anything like that. And I literally put all the blame on him for losing his own life. Um, that ain't said I'm happy about it or whatever. I'm just putting it where it goes. And it goes to him. So with that being the case, he was he was a stranger, you know what I'm saying, to her. And so she don't know his mannerism, like she don't, you know what I'm saying? But there were, I mean, he was yelling. That's a sign. He supposedly came in there like acting crazy or whatever. That's another sign. You know what I'm saying? He was raising his voice. Somebody was egging him on, a girlfriend. Like all of these are things that are escalating incidents. Um, Also, him saying, if you don't get your food, or if you say one more word, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh, my grandma, I'm gonna knock you out. Okay, when he's saying it out his mouth, and like I say, I'm not saying at all that she did anything wrong or just whatever, but when a person, and this is to all of you, this is not even about Kalisha Hood, this is about just in general, because like I say, too many of us seem like we don't recognize the signs. When somebody tell you, if you do such and such one more time, I'm going to blah blah, I would take heed. If somebody tell you, I mean, you can see it. I mean, and dude also with body language, dude also had his hands clenched. That's another sign of a person escalating. You know what I'm saying? So we need to listen. We need to look. We need to be aware. We need to be present. at that moment. Like one of the other worst things that you can do is turn your back on somebody who angry. You don't do that. Like that's you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because especially when it comes to a male, from a male to a female, many times the male will take you turning your back on him or whatever, and or walking out of his face or whatever, as disrespect, and it's going to be violent. You know what I'm saying? All men aren't like that, but men, and you don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't know, but men with small egos, men who don't feel good about themselves already, men who and here's another thing, men who are sick. Now, let me tell you something. As I said, this goes for men and women, but we are in a time right now, and we know most men don't like to go to the doctor. Most men don't like taking medication. And you gotta, I mean, this may sound so crazy, but there are so many sick men out there, high blood pressure, erectile dysfunction, diabetes, the cholesterol is often high. Um, they have all kinds of illnesses and things that are going on with them untreated, that is affecting the way they reason, the way they hear, the way they talk and act. And I mean, a sick person, a lot of time, this is not an excuse, y'all. I'm going through the different phases and reasons how anger and so forth is built up. So that's what I need y'all to understand. When people are sick, oh man, some of the meanest, rudest, most disrespectful people be in the hospital, be in a nursing home, they just be sick. Even high blood pressure makes you feel bad. Like you just don't feel like you don't want to talk. Low blood sugar, high blood, like all these things, it makes you irritable. Even menopause. Even women going through menopause and going through um even younger women going through PMS. Who My daughter has the worst PMS. She gets so grouchy. She's better, but she gets so grouchy, so irritable, so don't want to talk, so disrespect, so ugly. And like I say, same thing happens with a lot of women who are in menopause. I'm gonna tell you, I was not planning on even. I didn't even think about this, but I was working um at this little place, and one of the clients there, uh I guess I wasn't having a good day. I was probably having hot flashes and everything else. And she was sitting there, and she had been kind of looking at me and watching me and whatever, interact with everybody else. Later on, after everything was over, then she came back to me and she asked me, she said, are you going through menopause yet? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I am, because honestly, I really didn't know at the time. That was a few years ago now, and I think that was like my beginning of starting. Which I think they call it perimenopause or something. Like I don't even know what stage I'm in right now, but um, that is what I believe it was. I really do. Then I really didn't know. I was just aggravated. They was getting on my nerves. It was hot. I was having hot flashes. Like it was just, yeah. And so, uh, but I asked, I say, why? And she said, because when I was going through menopause, or when I was starting or whatever, you act just like me. Like I had a short temper. I was just like really aggravated. I just, same stuff. So that's why I asked you, you know. But she was right. You know what I'm saying? She was an older woman. And she was right. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know. Like I said, I didn't even know. I didn't even know I was being irritable. I really did. I figured they was getting on my nerves. But no, I was being irritable. There is a difference. And so, anyway, health reasons. Even medications that people take and are on give them all kind of different symptoms and stuff. A lot of times when people are starting or beginning a medication, they go through a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of antidepressant medication, a lot of medication, like I said, for various illnesses in the body causes changes in the body. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of reasons. Then you have alcohol and drugs. We have, y'all already know, we have an epidemic of drugs in America and also alcoholism. And I think when I was talking about this Jeremy Brown situation in Kalisha Hood, if I didn't say it, I certainly meant to say it because what I kept thinking was, I want to see an autopsy on this dude. Like, I really do. I want to see his autopsy because they said he came in there acting a fool and just being all impatient and whatever. And I really want to know, was he intoxicated? That is not at all an excuse. That is not at all to give him a way out at all, period. So please don't come with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, like I'm saying, giving you guys all of the scenarios that can cause a person to escalate in their aggression. And we know alcohol and drugs is definitely one. Like, you're not even yourself with alcohol and drugs. You know what I'm saying? So that is why it is not wise to engage. And we off the Jeremy Brown thing. I'm not talking about that no more. I'm talking about just in general. It is not wise to engage with an intoxicated person or a person intoxicated on drugs or alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's just not good. I mean, for what? They can argue all night long, like they don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Then the thing that really pisses me off, even though I don't do a lot of arguing anyway, but like when a person is drunk, inebriated, um, and you arguing with them or whatever, and they say stuff or they do stuff, more most of the time they come back, oh, I don't even remember that. I said that. Like, I don't even remember that. That pisses me off so bad. It really do, because I feel like, this is just some personal stuff with me. I feel like, especially with alcohol, there are things that you really want to say anyway that you are just not, um you don't have the balls to say it on a regular day, but when you get intoxicated, it just bleh, you know what I'm saying? It just all come out. But to me, I feel like some of that stuff is in your heart already. Like, you really do want to say it. You just, it gives you the balls to say it. That's just how I feel about it. Everybody does not like me, whatever, but that's just how I feel about it. But despite that, it's just not wise to argue with an inebriated, intoxicated, high, whatever person. It doesn't make any sense. Um, Now I'm gonna pull out my notes because I hit on all these topics, all these different scenarios, but I want to make sure that I don't forget anything. Um, One of the other things, let me get on this one first. That's not even on this paper, but let me get on this one. One of the other things is learning how, like I said before, you got to see, you got to hear, pay attention to what's coming out their mouth, like all of your senses need to be working, like they really do, in order to successfully de-escalate an aggressive situation. Um, let's talk for a minute on silent anger. Y'all, give me 1 second. I gotta get the fan because I am hot.